Hi and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. This is my teacher side and I'm going to be sharing today about some classroom management and classroom behaviour skills. I'd like to say thank you to Nexus. They've been publishing my videos on their blog, so I know a lot of the views that have come from there. So that's great, so thank you very much, and thank you if you have come over from there, and welcome if this is your first time. So I have my notes, I have some little bits and pieces to show, so we'll crack on. I'm going to be focusing on early years and primary school because that's what I teach and that's what I trained in. If you would like to hear tips for secondary schools, please leave a comment and I will do that for you. My brother is a secondary school teacher, or trained as a secondary school teacher, and I'll be able to ask him for some tips and tricks in that sense and share them with you as well. So get started. My first tip, pretty self-explanatory really, would be to be fair and consistent with your class. Number two would be to give children responsibilities, so you know, whether that be collecting snack money or, you know, book monitors or the line leader, whatever that might be, giving the children responsibilities from an early age really helps because they know what's expected of them that way. And they do take pride in the jobs that you give them, whether it even just be, can you go and get that for me, or can you do this, or, you know, are you keeping an eye on such and such a thing. You know, it really helps them to understand that, you know, they are important and they're important in their own learning as well. So it's really important for them to have those roles and responsibilities within the classroom. There's not always going to be a job for every child, but maybe you could switch it up like every half term, maybe more if you've got a really big class, or less if you've got a smaller class. But give them jobs to do and they will take pride in those jobs, and they'll want to please you as well. They'll want to do well, and they'll want you to be happy with the jobs that they're doing too. Another one, number three, for taking responsibility, set your class rules together. Don't just pin them up on a board and say, right, they're the rules and you've got to stick with them. Let the children be a part of the choosing of those rules, you know, get them involved. You know, what things do they think is right and they think are wrong. Number four, sharing your feelings, whether that be the teacher, yourself, or getting the children to share their feelings. I'll touch first on getting the children to share their feelings. It's really important that children have a chance to tell you how they feel and tell the rest of the class how they feel. You know, that's all about managing their emotional behaviour as well. Talking about things they do like, they don't like, you know, things that have made them happy, made them sad, and so on. I have actually got here a set of circle time starters. These are from the PTS online. They only cost a couple of pounds and there's quite a few in there, and I've used these recently in a school I was in doing supply work, and you'd be surprised how well they worked. You know, these were a class of year one children who were slightly underachieving for national average, and we sat down and we did a couple of the really simple ones of these, and it really got them talking, and it really helped with the management, especially because the class that I was in had different teachers at different times of the week and things like that, and this really set in stone things. So it says, like this one for example, a special person in my life is, you know, just getting them talking about how they feel. I'm happy when, you know, get the children to hold the cards while they're talking. They can look at the pictures and that will help them to think of answers for things like that. And then on the side of teachers, you know, tell the children how you feel. You know, what's something the children have done really well that day, what maybe could they improve on, you know, what's made you happy, etc, etc. When I was at university, we used to have to do what we called 1 star and a wish, 2 things that are absolutely amazing in one lesson, and 1 thing that you really wanted to improve on. You could use that in your own way of using it for the children's behaviour. So, oh, I really like the way you sat so well today, and I really like the way that you listened to this today, but maybe tomorrow we could be a little bit quieter going off to our tables. It's just really simple things like that that get the children to understand. If you don't tell them, they won't know. Number 5 is when working in a whole group, whole class input, you know, whether it be sat on the carpet or at tables, you know, have ways of taking answers. Don't always just, you know, everybody put your hand up, put your hand up, put your hand up, because you're always going to only get 1 or 2 answers that way out of a class of potentially 30 children. You know, there's different ways you can take answers. For any of you who've done read, write, ink training, which is a phonics training, they have some really great examples where you have like turn to your partners and get them to chat about their answers first. They have popcorn, which means you just throw out answers, but like popcorn that just pops and pops and pops. Children just throw out their answers, you know, maybe just have a yes and no, you know, yes, no, simple things like that. It gets the whole class involved, and that way children aren't going to get bored and kind of wander off in their own little imagination. You're going to keep the whole class together. Now more going on to the side of maybe inappropriate behaviour for number 6, you know, low-key acknowledgement. Don't make a big deal out of bad behaviour. Don't make a big deal about the behaviour you don't want to see, because if you're given, it's something I've learnt recently, if you're giving all your attention to the child who's misbehaving and you're ignoring or not giving as much attention to the children who are doing exactly what you want them to do, the good children are going to start thinking, well, actually so and so is getting more attention over there, I'm going to come with them, you know, come to the dark side, and I'm going to misbehave too, because at least then I've got Miss or Sir's attention when I want it. You know, it's really important to try not to do that. And a couple of tips for you to kind of settle the bad behaviour a little bit and not give them too much attention. Low-key acknowledgements. The look. I always laugh about this. When I was younger, I went swimming a lot, and my mum used to take me, and there was a child, I must have been about 7 years old, and there was a child in a playpen, and this child was screaming for its mum, and the mum happened to be just next to them changing an older child, and my mum had what was called the mummy look, and she just glared at this child in a particular way, and this child stopped instantly. No more tears, no more screaming, and since then we've called it the mummy look. And now as a mother myself, even I notice myself doing the mummy look. You just kind of give a glance to your child or the children in your class, and they think, oh, miss or mum isn't happy with that. You know, it doesn't have to be anything really obvious, just a bit of a stern look at the child and then leave it. Don't say anything, just the look will be enough. Secondly, walk around your classroom. The children are getting on with their work. I understand that, you know, things need to be done. You need to quickly do the register, or you need to quickly mark this, or you need to reply to a little note that's been sent to you. You know, make sure you're walking around the classroom, because if you're going in between the tables and in between the children, they're going to be more aware of you being there. If you're sat in a corner at your desk getting on with whatever, they're going to think, oh, Miss or Sarah isn't paying attention. Whereas if you're walking around in and out of them, they're constantly aware of your presence, and that way you'll be able to keep on top of the misbehaving before it gets out of hand. Another one to go alongside of that is, you know, slight touch. Obviously you've got to be very, very careful in this day and age, but if you notice somebody being a little bit silly as you're walking around, just a little tap on the shoulder, or just place your hands on their shoulder and they will look up at you, and that's when you can give the look, so to say, or you can just say, you know, please stop, or, you know, calm down, or, you know, whatever their discipline would be, you know, whether it be, you know, do it again and you'll miss your play, or blah blah blah. You just got that little bit of, you're nipping it in the bud before it can get out of hand. And the last one for kind of low-key acknowledgements is signals. Again, with Read Write Inc, they have a lot of signals. As I say, you've got your turn to your partner, you've got your team stop signal, which everybody has to stop. In Brownies, we have one where everyone puts their hands up in the air, and when you see the leader or whoever doing that, everybody copies, the mouths get closed, and they're paying attention to that one adult. You could come up with your own classroom signals, you know, it's keeping the children aware constantly, to be looking around, oh, Miss has got her hands up, or Miss has done this, or Sir's done that. They will be constantly on top of you then, and you will be able to keep their attention. You'll be able to keep it calm, keep it collective, and stick with whatever it is you're doing. And just to reiterate for the last point really, try to ignore the bad behaviour. I know you can't completely ignore it because you've got to keep everybody safe, but keeping on top of it, don't let it get out of hand, and don't give it too much attention. You do not want those good children coming over to the bad side because they're getting your attention. You know, if you're lucky enough to have a TA, maybe have your TA working, you know, maybe 1 to 2, 1 to 3 with a group of children who usually would be a little bit disruptive. Or if you don't have a TA, again, just going back to those low-key acknowledgements for those children, you know, the look, the walking around, the slight touch on the shoulder, just be on top of it as much as you can, and that will really, really help. So that's everything for tips at the moment. I'm just going to show you a few things that I've got that have helped me with classroom management and behaviour management. Really simple. Again, as I say, these are more aimed at primary school, but maybe some of them could work for lower secondary school. I don't know, because I've not been in that situation. So again, just the circle time cards that I showed you previously. There's about a pack of 20, maybe more. Cost me a couple of pounds on PTS. I'll link that down below so you can get to that really quickly. They always have good sales on and things. The next ones, if you've seen my teacher's bag video, you've probably seen these before, but I keep little Ziplocs with different things in, and in this particular one I have, these are my special awards, again just acknowledging the good behaviour. Little notes, these are notes to home or praise pads, which you can just write a little note to home. Again, you know, very stereotypical really to have a princess one, but I liked it. So they're just good behaviour, acknowledging the good behaviour. So many parents are so happy to see these, especially if you've got a child who you constantly send a note home about being disruptive, or so and so's done this and, you know, we're a bit upset with this. You know, mum or dad or whoever's at home would love to see them get one of these instead. Again, all of those are from PTS, I'll link it. And in my other Ziploc I just have lots and lots of stickers. Kids love stickers. I take my little girl to a ballet class, she's nearly 2, and at the end of the class every week they get a sticker and her face just lights up, and I get really overwhelmed by it because it's a simple sticker, but she knows that she's got that sticker because she's been so well behaved. These are fab. These are personalised ones. You get a huge sheet. I tend to break them up and staple them so that they'll fit into this Ziploc. This is from, I think, Wilko for about 40p. These are personalised ones, again from PTS. Couple of pounds, I think they were about £2 for a sheet of 70 maybe, I'll double check that. And loads of other different stickers, even simple ones really. Ones for first aid, or if they've lost a tooth, I love these. If they've lost a tooth, they get a little sticker, and then there's a bag to put their little tooth in with their name on. You know, these go down a treat, you'd be surprised. Another one I've got, these are just cards. I haven't quite finished making it yet, but so for me, I find it really important that there's a middle level for every child, because, and in that way they can either go up in their behaviour. If they've been well behaved, they can move up, or if maybe they've been misbehaving, they can go down. There's always kind of a level playing field for every child. So for me, it's these. I've seen traffic light systems and things, but this one has got 5 steps, and that's what I really like about it. So it starts off with the very, very top one, which is superstar, outstanding, just with some stickers, gold. I think gold's really, really important because they see that as like coming first, you know, really important. Second one is silver, and that says shiny star, and it says great job. Again, silver, second place, but they can still get better. Middle playing field for me is the green one. It says ready to learn. Then going down one, so if they've been misbehaving, you go down, and this one says uh-oh, think about it, and it says make the right choices. You know, giving the children ownership of their own behaviour, you know, telling them they can improve, they can get better. And last but not least, kind of the bottom line, you've got time to chill out, and then just says Mrs. Hughes is very sad. Now the way this could work really is, anyway, you know, I've seen people do it with pegs, and they have the children's names on the pegs and they stick them to the side of each one and have them hanging on the wall in the correct order. Or you could have them on the wall and have the photograph of the child. It all depends on the age group you're working with really. You know, whether you trust them to change it themselves, and maybe you could have the peg with their name for the older ones, or photographs for younger ones, or whether you want to take responsibility for that and you can use it as, you know, when you're doing that walking around and you can see a child that's really well behaved, you could go and change it and, you know, take somebody from silver up to gold and vice versa. You see somebody misbehaving, you've given them the look twice, you know, you can move one down and they will see that, they'll clock you doing that as well, which is really, really important, that they see that you are aware of what's going on. So that's just one thing I really love to do. Again, it can be done as traffic lights, you know, but this is, for me, is my personal favourite way of doing it. And the last one I'd like to say is a website called Class Dojo. It's free to sign up. You don't have to have it as a whole school thing. It could just be your own. And you just sign up with your email address, you put your class in, and every student in the class gets a little character, like a little alien type thing. And that's basically, you're able to add on points throughout the day for different things, whether it be helping others or teamwork or participating or listening carefully, things like that. You can take points away. I don't take points away personally, I just add whenever I think that they're doing well. And that way they can see, I've shown it on an interactive whiteboard before, so they can see, oh, so and so's got 6, I want to beat them, and they start behaving, and they make it a little bit like a bit of healthy competition, and they keep that going as much as they can. Some will do it for a week, some will do it for a term, and the person with the most points will get a prize. Some do it like every Friday, some will do it Monday to Friday, then reset it the following Monday, you know, new week, new start. There are ways you can expand it. You can interact with parents through that, but that's entirely up to how you do it, whether you introduce it at whole school or not. So yeah, that's all I've got for you today, but I thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Again, thank you for Nexus for sharing the videos too. I think next time I might touch on newly qualified teachers and how to set up your first ever classroom. Got quite a few tips and tricks on that one, so hopefully I'll see you again soon, and thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will be back soon. Thanks, bye.